Hello viewers, I'm SP and welcome back to the Grog and Dog here in Griftlands for another day of probably just murdering almost everyone we come across. I mean, it's working out so well so far, right? And we've paid no price at all. It's early morning, but the Grog and Dog's patrons are already hard at work on their drinks. So, I know you thought I should hold off on that bounty, but, you know, after last night, if Kasia wants me to be her worst nightmare, I'd like to oblige. And how are you gonna do that? She knows you're here, and she's got money and goons to keep her safe. What do you got? You? You're damn right. And lucky for you, I have a couple of contacts who want Kasia dead almost as much as you do. If you can convince them to work with you. Will they need convincing? I'm afraid so. The Admiralty doesn't trust hunters as a rule. But you talk to my contact and see if you can convince her otherwise. But taking out Kasia would make a space the Spree'd be more than happy to fill. I know somebody who will talk to you, especially if you can bring him Kasia's head on a platter. Well, I'm gonna tell you right now, I think this version of Sal allying with the Spree makes way more sense than this version of Sal allying with the Admiralty. In no small part because we're obviously playing a very violent thug. So, let's do that one. Let's head out on that one, shall we? So, wait, we have 3 options for picking... Oh, no, this is just a market. Okay. So, yeah, at this point in the story, we have to pick sides. We're going with the Admiralty, or we're going with the violent criminals. Let's just go ahead and do what we know our version of Sal would do. The man meets your gaze with a face like barbed wire. It looks like it hurts. It looks like it hurts a lot all the time. Nadan, right? I'm Sal. I hear you're a guy worth knowing. And I hear you've got an axe to grind. You want to bury it in a few skulls? You won't get anywhere near Kasia without my help. But my help don't come cheap or easy. You do good work and survive to reap the benefits? Then maybe we're in business. Yeah, I'm honestly 100% into it, for sure. Does he have information? Yeah, let's sit here and talk to this wild Saturday morning cartoon villain for a moment. So hold up, what exactly is it that you're offering here? You want Casio? I can get you Casio. In a few days, the cult will be rolling into Murder Bay for their annual antiquities auction. Murder Bay is the place where we are. I think that was not actually established at any point before this. They sell relics and holy pardons to them that can afford it in exchange for labor contracts and other illicits. Well, that does sound like Kasio's market. But auctions like that have exclusive guest lists. And that's where our business arrangement comes in. I can get you into that auction, but only if you can prove you deserve it. And you're sure Kasia will be there herself? She might just send her goons to do her shopping for her. No, it ain't just goods this year. Big decisions are getting made. The Admiralty wants to annex, and they need the cult on side to do it. Citizenship would make most St. Havarians choke, but it goes down smoother with some Hessian wisdom. And guess whose life gets a whole lot harder if labor contracts get regulated? Well, the biggest debt broker in the Griftlands, I suppose. And the annex is a wrench in her whole operation. She'll be there to make sure it doesn't happen. So take that wrench and yank it. Is that really the way you wanna... Are we still doing phrasing? Look, I get you're the one with demands, pal, but I like to know who I'm working with. Yeah, I can't say I blame you with that fish out of water stink. If you were from here, you'd have heard of me already. I'm the Scourge of Murder Bay. That's a cool title. If that was a thing people actually called me, I would also drop it into conversation all the time. Folks actually call you that? I don't know, I never asked. I'm not much of a conversationalist, on account of how much it must hurt every single time I move my mouth. So, this work you're having me do. Favors. Yeah, right, okay. It's illegal, I assume. This is the most I am a cop question I could possibly have asked. Well, that's up to you, ain't it? I only care about results. You find a way of getting me what I want while playing nice with the law, that's your time wasted, not mine. Gee, I wonder how he feels about the Admiralty. I take it you're not a fan of the Annex. You're a Nick Derrick, ain't you? What has the Admiralty ever done for you? Well, it's the cult that runs the Derricks. And it's the Admiralty that plays their lapdog, turning a blind eye. They don't care for law and order in Havaria. They only care to please their fish lords back across the sea. Even if it means throwing good folk to the abyss. Heavy. I didn't make it that way. I'm just living with the consequences. Alright, I mean, listen, we knew before the conversation which direction this was going. Alright, contract's a contract. Happy to be in business with you, Nadan. I'm glad you're convinced so easy. You do good on those favors, maybe we're as copacetic as you say. And Kasia will be all yours. The first order of business? Take this. It's a card. It's a card for my deck. So, improvise a random upgraded bleed card, or apply 1 wound whenever you attack for the rest of the turn. This seems extremely good. If we were in sort of a bleed strategy, I could see taking that instead, but yeah, Vital Strike seems extremely, extremely good. What is it? This'll tell people that you're under my protection. So he also gave us some kind of in-world item. Or maybe our deck of cards is a physical deck of cards that we're carrying around. I don't know. Nice. I've always wanted to learn a secret handshake. So put me to work, boss. I'm here to impress, ain't I? Nah, you're hungry. That's good. The Admiralty have gotten a hold of an antiquity. They want to gift it to the cult, to butter them up for negotiations. Let's sour that butter, shall we? Is that how... Okay. You want me to steal the antiquity? Steal it, destroy it, whatever you like, so long as the Admiralty can't profit off of it. Okay, that seems like very doable. Intercede, destroy a relic. Obviously, I'm not a big fan of the Cult of Hesh, so this lines up with my personal goals, and we get a graft for it. I'm in. We stole some intel on the route they're taking. All you gotta do is set up camp, and they'll come to you. Okay, easy enough. Antiquities are dangerous ancient tech. My family used to dig them up for a living. The Spark Barons keep everything dangerous for themselves. So, the boss that we fought at the end of last episode was a Spark Baron. That's kind of their outfit with the orange. Hopefully we won't see too many more of them, because they are dangerous. Likely this is just some old knick-knack to decorate a priestly pedestal. Okay, well, I guess that's all of the information, and I don't have enough money to buy any food, so let's get on with it. So, there's this market down here. We can hire people to hang out with us and follow us around, like our good friend Shell. Provided we have any money at all. You're stopped along the road by an Admiralty patrol, swinging their batons with some showmanship. You, Grifter, get over here. There's a pompous curl to her lip that suggests you're in for a heap of trouble. Best watch yourself. Thanks, narrator. Last review, my supervisor said my technique was rusty. Rusty! Can you believe it? He assigns me to the boondocks every damn day for years, then says I can't get a promotion because I can't fight as well as an officer. That's rough. Yeah, thanks for saying so. And for agreeing to help me out. I didn't say... Faporo draws her weapon with a purposeful glint in her eye. Oh, yeah. Ah, Hesh. Do I just endure the beating, or do I probably kill this Admiralty officer in self-defense? Well, I mean, that's not a real question, right? We are not playing the version of this character who would just take this lying down. So, unfortunately, no discard. Do we need the power this time? I mean, obviously, I want to help my pet out. What's your deal? Remove 1 evasion when you dodge a hit and at the start of your turn. Start of each enemy turn, gain 1 evasion and reduce nimble by 1. Okay, so they're gonna get an evasion at the beginning of each of the first couple of turns. Well, that's awkward. I mean, we can throw up Kradeshi Feint on the pet and just buy a little bit of time here. Obviously, I care a lot about Bort's health. And then Sal's daggers into Saber Grip. do we just throw Saber Grip up now, and then the slice will apply a fair amount of bleed? Because if we can run off the Vrock, obviously things get a lot easier. And we're not gonna take out the officer fast enough to make that a viable strategy for ending this. Let's just get rid of you. We're not gonna use our oppressor cell, obviously. I'm gonna save that for a real fight. Even though, obviously, doing stuff like that does mean that we're gonna end up just having a lot of garbage in our deck. Okay, yeah. Apply a wound whenever you attack for the rest of the turn. Seems pretty solid. Apply and impair. So with a draw and a discard, we might draw one of our copies of Stringer so that we can throw it away to Bedlam. But obviously picking up a thing that's actually an attack here would be good for applying more wounds. I think we'll just go ahead and do the impair. So is this 6 damage coming from the officer? So hold on. How does your thing work? You gain 2 defense at the end of every turn. Reduce kindling by 1 and apply kindling to the attacker. I definitely misunderstood how this worked last time. Convert all kindling to temporary power at the end of your turn, but you never have any temporary power. Yeah, I'm not 100% clear on what's going on with that. I clearly do not understand it fully. Alright, so am I applying defense? I think Bort's going to take care of himself, and I'm fine with just the 4 damage. Let's just do strikes. More wounds. Always more wounds. Aw, that's a shame. I should have done that earlier. Or I should have elbow striked. I totally forgot what my plan was. I was just like, look at all the damage my pet's doing. I should also help. How long does it take for me to forget the plan? 0. 0 time. Alright, see, that time definitely some power got transferred. Alright, so you have your last stack of evasion. Our pet is going to try to do a bunch of damage here, but it's going to need a little bit of help. And this is going to make us take damage every time we play anything. This is very awkward. Alright, well, I'm going to eat a little bit of damage here. We're going to throw up a stab so that our pet's attack won't miss. And then I guess I'm just going to Spines, right? Because obviously Stringer doesn't help. And notice Stringer says gain defense rather than apply defense. You can apply to other people. Gain only targets yourself. So yeah, I guess I'll just work my Spines here. Bort's pretty tough. I'm very impressed with Bort so far. So 13 is a lot. I would prefer that you not do 13 damage to my pet. I mean, we gotta just we have to throw a feint up, right? And there's a wound. I wish I had a stun available. Yeah, I'm gonna try to feint off some of that damage, and then we're gonna do this and hope to not hit minimum damage. Damn it. Of course I did. Of course I hit minimum damage. Oh, you know what? I was miscounting. For some reason, I was thinking we didn't have enough actions. I absolutely should have played Scatter first. Well, I'm still going to play Scatter so that we get XP on it. But yeah, bad work. And I see that my Flourish is available, but I'm also thinking we probably want to save that for a more real fight, right? And the consequences of not getting rid of the Admiralty pet this round are not huge, because, like, it wasn't doing anything meaningful. So we have no idea exactly what you're doing. You're both just putting up status effects. Yeah, it's kind of hard to tell. Let's... I guess let's just get rid of the Vrock, because we totally can, right? I'm not going to play this Spark Grenade here. Let's just have you move on. Get out of here. Alright, now we can focus a little bit. Alright, yeah, that's a lot of built-up defense there. Let's fight dirty. Show me Okay, an impair is pretty solid here, I think. Right, when the damage numbers get this high, percentage-based damage reduction starts to be pretty good. And then, like, I want a Reckless Swing, discarding Stringer. And there's no sense doing this. I guess let's just save you from a little bit of damage. I mean, we're getting there. She'll surrender soon, hopefully before Bort takes too much more damage. Alright, she's just gonna keep stacking up. Daggers into Saber Grip, do this thing. Again, not doing the scatter, not doing any sequencing at all. Why would I do a good job when I could do a bad job, right? In this case, it doesn't matter, because it's all good enough. And I mean, sort of goes without saying, right? Allies have 10% less max health in battle. Oh no, my Bort! Alright, I have a feeling we're not going to be very popular with the Admiralty, just sort of in a general sense. I'm fine with it. If the target has bleed, apply 1 impair and wound. That's a pretty compelling attack, actually. But honestly, I don't know if I want any of these. Our combat deck is starting to get pretty large, and I don't know necessarily... Yeah, I don't know necessarily that I want to have any more cards in our deck that don't do the thing that we're trying to build into. Even though I do think Dagger Storm seems pretty cool. Obviously, those Blade Flash cards will fill up your deck, and you'll end up just playing Blade Flash a lot as the battle goes on. But, you know, there are worse things in the world. I'm going to decline. I'm gonna try not to fill up our deck with too much more stuff that isn't on the plan. And we barely ended up taking any damage there at all. It's really just Bort that I'm worried about. You find the route Nadan mentioned and lurk out of sight. It's not long before an ostentatious caravan approaches. The caravan is escorted by a few guards and a luminari, the most dangerous of the group. Let's rest a moment. We've traveled all day, and I wish to reflect in prayer. Yeah, as you like, luminaries. These are like Hessian monks. They're dangerous. I am concerned. Let's wait a bit and observe. You hold your breath and wait. The guard begins to sharpen his weapon on a leather strap. I'm sorry, but I can't focus while you work. I'll seek solitude in the forest. Oh, I'm sorry, Luminari. I can... No, you have your duties, and I have mine. Guard the relic, please. Okay, apparently those are his duties. With the Luminari out of the way, you emerge from your hiding spot. Something tells me he's not going to be out of the way for all that long. Why, greetings. Hold, citizen. This is Admiralty business. Yeah, just a question, my good fellow. Do you keep the faith? Do you walk in the shallows? Of course, we're none of us faithless here. What's it to you, citizen? So, we can try to resolve this in a sort of a sneaky way, or I can just jump them. Because they're not expecting it, first of all, Halit will dislike this. We definitely had dealings with Halit before, right? I remember... I mean, apparently we're neutral with him. I don't exactly remember what happened. We would be very likely to win this fight. But let's see if we can resolve this without combat, because I don't want to draw the attention of the Luminari if we don't have to. We're going to try sneakiness. I'm a pilgrim and a scholar, an expert in antiquities, in fact. I was just in Grout Bog, where I made a frightful discovery. Several recently unearthed relics were fakes. Grout Bog is a marsh owned by the Spark Barons. I believe this is where the second character's story takes place, if I remember correctly. The Spark Barons told me they'd just sold one to the Admiralty, and I knew you had to be found. Fakes? The Spark Barons assured us it was perfectly authentic. Aha, so you do carry the relic. Well, I mean, I could certainly examine it for you, to be sure. And also, my dog would like to see it. And also, I'm deeply unstable. Yeah. Alright, a little bit of fast talking. So is this... Yeah, we're gonna get some planted evidence. That's not a big deal. We're not gonna do a whole lot more damage here, so... I mean, we're gonna hit one more time this turn, and then there'll be another stack of vulnerability for next turn. I'm already going to apply deflection here, so we probably don't need to worry too much about that. Yeah, let's go ahead and take the stammer. And unfortunately, with us being forced to discard a card at the beginning of the negotiation, the free action we got from our very cool graft ends up being completely useless. Okay, this is a very frustrating argument. This must go. Here, hold on. Let's gain a point of dominance before we go playing Oppress. We don't want to destroy... Gosh, this is rough. We're going to take a bunch of damage here. We'll get this to 2 to 5, so it's guaranteed to destroy this argument, get us another point of dominance. And yeah, I'm just going to eat 5 damage. Not really any two ways about that. That said, you know, things are going alright. So far, all of our reputation for violence type cards are really paying off. Hostility cards deal +1, diplomacy deals -1, so we can play this for 1 action to destroy it, to remove it permanently from our deck. I actually think it's pretty good in our deck, but it is a little bit awkward to have drawn it right now. Because we're going to play Bounty Hunter, and then we're not going to be able to destroy the Wanted argument. Well, maybe, right? Maybe we'll get lucky. Let's take the swing and see what happens. Oh, okay, it did work. Alright, I am curious about the Flourish, but we're going to, like, open the next one with it. We're going to play Ergo, even though we don't need it, just to get some XP. Oh, there was not... Huh. There was nothing in my discard pile. I forgot to check. Created when trying to improvise a card type you do not have. I've never seen this before. That's really neat. Let's also play Quick Thinking, of course. It doesn't actually matter what we take here. Let's play Bounty Hunter, get some more experience on that. And then Incept Vulnerability. We threaten in the hopes that it will not do enough damage. Should I fast talk instead? Let's fast... Well, no, I guess I only have 1 action left. I was just thinking, like, you know, you want to play as many cards as possible in a turn, but ad-lib does not benefit from experience. Alright, we managed to upgrade 1 of our threatens. So, Boosted Threaten, or the Threaten of Clarity. I think we actually want to keep our red cards around. Obviously, this will let us thin our deck a little bit, but I think we want reds. So let's just keep this in its boosted form. I would gladly take a Fast Talk of Clarity. And do we want another copy of Oppress? The way our deck is built, we're not likely to have a lot of influence, so buying time's not so good. Plead does not cost an influence. It just takes away one of your influence, so you can play it if you don't have any. And it is a free card, but it's just not going to be very good in our deck. I think I'm going to just decline here. I guess, actually, Oppress is just better than Threaten. Yeah, right. Give me the Oppress. It's just better than Threaten. Now I've dedicated my whole life to the study of relics. My eye won't be fooled, I can assure you. Well, I suppose there's no harm in having you look at it. My fingers will be as discreet as a dewdrop. Boy, ain't that the truth. Halit steps aside. You crawl inside the caravan and spot an ornate eelskin box. The relic sits on a bed of silk that feels like tallow. Looking at the relic, it's clear it's genuine. But it's a genuine trinket. No wonder the Spark Barons were willing to pass it on. Still, the Hessians might like the gift all the same, so... Do I steal it for the purposes of using it for my own end? I was sent here to destroy it. And I do think this is the thing that will upset the cult the most, and I am invested in upsetting the cult the most. I'm going to just wreck it. The relic is old and snaps easily in 2. For good measure, you even grind the pieces beneath your heel. Doesn't seem like a good use of my time. You always hated relics anyway. With a sneer, you slip out of the caravan. Well, you weren't in there very long. Well, a moment was all I needed. The relic was indeed a fake. What? Ah, Hesh. I wouldn't take the many tentacles watchers name the many tentacled watchers name in vain if I were you. The fake was heresy, so, naturally I destroyed it. You... And with that, I'll be off. Frankly, I don't want to keep the company of someone so unholy. You make for the trees before the guards can recover. I do think that telling them I destroyed it is a little bit of rubbing it in, but whatever, it works. That is definitely going to come back to bite me though, right? The job is done, and now for my favorite part, the part where I get paid. You were right, the antiquity was just for decoration. Just as I thought. Do you have it? Not exactly, but the Admiralty doesn't. Alright, good enough. If the Admiralty don't have it, I'm happy. Well, maybe not happy, but at least not angry. Alright, 200 shills, Nadan likes you. It's nice to make friends. And also, a graft. Whenever you draw a status, draw a card, yellow is status, right? So, honestly, distributed processing could be pretty solid for us. We picked up a lot of statuses. Hold on. Does it say... Yes, yellow is, you can see at the top right of the tooltip there, basic status. So we have 3 status cards in a deck that is only 18 cards in size. Most turns we are going to see one. And I'm going to tell you right now, we're going to continue getting a reputation for violence, probably, so... the other options here are deal bonus damage to targets with bleed or lose only up to 4 combo. Yeah. I think distributed processing is the move. Just jam that directly into my brain. Yeah, like that. See? She just shoved it right in there. We're done here. You got other things to do, that's fine. But don't take risks. You're no good to be dead. Hey, tell me about this person Ulo who doesn't like me all of a sudden. There was someone else who said they could get me into the auction. In the Admiralty. I think she wanted to get Casio as much as you do. Yeah, maybe I should reach out. I mean, if you're willing to work with a hunter, maybe. No. I don't work with switches. Least of all, that switch. You mean Ulo? That was her name, I think. It is. And don't say it again. Okay, then. Clearly, we have been... The nature of the relationship has been delineated. So, are you from here? Now we're just making small talk. Yeah, there's murder in my blood, and my blood in the bay. Grim, but evocative. Must be hard to defend your territory. There's a lot of competition. Sometimes folks get out of line, but not for long. Ah, yeah, because of murder. I get it. I love that. I also am a murderer. How do your people feel about you working with a hunter? I didn't ask. If they got feelings, that's on them. You didn't talk about it with them? I don't talk. Yeah, so I see. Enough questions. Oh, sure, you're the boss. Yeah, I'll get out of here. Keep your blades sharp. The next job I give you will be harder, so you best get ready. Yeah. This is a lot of talking for a guy who doesn't talk. He's actually, at this point, the most loquacious person we've encountered. We could run over and get some max HP, or we could train our pet. There's a perfect spot for grooming or training your pet if you can get there before someone else stakes a claim to it. Locations where it is possible to groom a pet are a limited resource, and they are in high demand. You arrive at a clearing in the woods that isn't too overgrown with wild brush, and Bort takes off to roll around in the grass. So, if we play with Bort, he'll heal, I'll get some resolve back. He's missing 14 health. If I train with Bort, it'll increase his health and damage, and also he will help us in negotiations. We'll just teach him to make some basic arguments. You put together an impromptu obstacle course from branches and dead trees, leading to a dummy made from putrid mulch. Up and over, that's right. Now low to the ground now, real quiet. Now sick. Adorable. Bort's max health increased by 10, base damage increased. Okay, yes, current health also increased by 10 when that happened. That's basically as good as having gone for the heal. And, I mean, we got some money, we may as well visit the market. You'd think you'd be used to the constant interruptions, but you're still surprised when a stranger approaches out of the shadows. How's it faring, Grifter? Fancy a test of your mettle? I don't usually go in for random brawls unless I'm getting paid for it. That doesn't sound right at all. No, it's not that kind of test, Hunter. That's mettle with a capital M. Only some in Haveria are fit to wield it. What exactly do you mean by mettle? It's the only currency truly native to the Griftlands. Exert your influence, and you will draw in mettle as you draw breath. Huh. Is mettle that weird green currency that doesn't appear on the bar anywhere? I assume... Is there like a... I don't know. Compendium. Is there an indication of... Ah, here we go. Metal. Metal upgrades. Interesting. Okay, so there's like a whole... There's a whole other system here that we're about to be taught about. That sounds like nonsense. Your skepticism serves you well in combat, but not here. Here, find this shrine and see for yourself. Plundak pulls out a map and points to a location that is seemingly just a cave. And take this to get you started. You'll soon see what I mean. Okay. Plundak is an extremely cool name, by the way. Good job on that. Congratulations. Okay, let's go to the metal cave. Wait, did you seek me out just to recommend your own store? You've heard of word-of-mouth advertising, haven't you? Just have a look at my wares, and I think you'll agree it's a solid recommendation. So, we can spend shills to buy metal, and it looks like metal is like a meta currency. It's a thing that persists between runs, probably. So, it seems like it might be a good idea. I want to learn something new. Okay, so there are different kinds of flourishes. Do we know, what is our current flourish? Attack all enemies twice. And our current negotiation flourish is just dismiss all enemy intents. Honestly, that seems pretty solid. So there are upgraded versions of these as well. Okay, interesting. And stuff is expensive. You'll be able to play any of the unlocked flourishes during battle or negotiation, earn more prestige when defeating each boss in each prestige level. Okay. Interesting. You can earn more metal by completing certain quests, killing specific targets, and defeating particular arguments. That's strangely worded. And are these are probably, yeah, given that one of them says start the game with X, these are also things that persist between runs. Well, that's interesting. I don't know what I want to do yet. I think what I'm going to do right now is just hold on to my currency. And I'm not going to buy more because I kind of want to go to the night market and do some deck sculpting. What is metal, anyway? Metal is a measure of how tough you are. Once you have it, nobody can take it away from you. Not even death. Oh, so it's like a spiritual thing. If only you were so lucky. Well, how do I get it? You need to earn it. Do hard things. Prove yourself. Metal will follow. Can't I just, like, buy it? Yeah, that works too. Parting with shills is a hard thing to do, after all. Okay, I guess that kind of works. So what's a flourish? It's a power that builds up within you to be used in times of great crisis. And I can learn this from you. Oh, no, I can't teach you anything. I just help you unlock what's already there. That's a good sales pitch. All you gotta do is tell people that they already rule, and they'll believe anything else you say to them. Alright, yeah, we are definitely going to hold on to our coins for this, though, provided that I ever make it there. This part of the road is usually pretty quiet, but you come across a bit of ruckus all the same. Seems a bounty hunter has finally tracked down their quarry. And the bounty doesn't specify you have to be dead, Kel, so come quietly and you won't get hurt. Nah, I think I'm good with a bit of hurt, if it means putting you in the grave. You've been tailing me too long. You having trouble here, Hunter? I've heard of you. You're Sal, aren't you? Word is you're the real deal, by which I mean a murderer. You want in on this bounty? Between the two of us, it'll be easy pickings. Yeah, that sounds okay. Apparently Kel is a 4-star opponent, which is a little concerning. Or we could just jump in on Kel's side for some reason. I mean, let's make friends, right? It's interesting that mousing over this one, it says Kel will like you, but doesn't say Topo will dislike you. You have to imagine that would, in fact, happen, right? Alright, I'm going to help Topo capture Kel, because I want a friend who is a bounty hunter. And I'm going to not murder Kel, because this version of Sal loves to kill people, but also understands how bounties work. We're not going to ruin Topo's whole deal. Well, Kel, let's see if your big words actually count for something. Kel has he has an extremely cool tattoo. Alright, yeah, I know, gnarled effigy. Okay, so I'm gonna get punched in the face. There's not a lot I can do about that. Do we want to burn our Admiralty requisition here? I don't think so. I think it's perfectly reasonable to just throw up spines. Given that our flourish is sort of a multi-target thing, it's probably not worth playing right now. Let's just go ahead and do the spines, and then, I don't know, stab him? You know, I do love to stab. Then again, am I maybe like... It may well be the case that we could spend our flourish and then just earn it back relatively quickly. But you know what? It's the end of the day. We're probably going to have to fight a boss before we go to bed. Let's save it for that. Alright, hooray for a little bit of counter. So, we got our Reckless Swing. He's just going to punch the Bounty Hunter in the face, which, like... Sorry to be so mercenary about it, but I kind of don't care about... Let's just do this. We'll discard a Stringer. And then it is a shame that we're not going to get to use all this counter we're building up. And I may as well Kradeshi Feint. I could use a little bit of healing. Wait, if she's got a gun, why are we resolving this at arm's length? It feels like we could have just... You could have just stood back and handled this from safety. Alright, definitely scatter the gnarled effigy, and I guess just one of the stabs. And then, more stabbing. Sometimes in the front, sometimes in the back, just kind of wherever it fits. Well, that's wonderful. Topo is apparently a very skilled healer. That guy just took my money. Hey, man, I need that. Next attack this turn deals double damage. Actually, this is very close to over. I'm not going to stress too much about it. Let's just play this to get some XP on it. Alright, and then we accept the surrender, because I'm not going to murder her bounty. It's a little uncharacteristic, but again, I know my place here. Alright, I took back the 20 shills he stole from me. Got some victory medal, presumably because he was a high-level opponent. Let's upgrade that stab. Ooh. Yeah, strain stab seems like a big move for us. And then, are any of these relevant to our deal? Not really. I do think that, Tackle is remarkably good for especially for a common, for a single action. Boy, do I want to take this even though it's not on plan just because it's so good? No, I'm not going to do that. Well, two heads really are better than one. Oh, and also you're here. I was talking about Bort, obviously. No kidding, and the bounty's worth more alive. Here's your half, more than fairly earned. I'll turn in the mark to claim the rest. Hey, awesome. Great work. 200 more shills. Okay, we're going to be able to do some wonderful stuff at the night market. Let us... I mean, I guess let's start with the graphs. Let's look at rares. We can actually afford a rare this time. Whenever you spend all your combo, gain 5 defense. Okay, pretty powerful. Not really in my strategy, though. Bleed decays 33% instead of 50%, or... Ooh, pets have plus 10 health. Honestly, this is not awesome, and we do have a limited number of graft slots, but... I really want to make sure Bort survives. I'm very invested in this Bort strategy. What about negotiation grafts? Is your rare negotiation graft cool? At the start of each negotiation, choose a card in your hand and duplicate it. Okay, that is interesting. I think we're gonna We're going to take the rest of this money to the card merchants, though. Do I want to install another slot, since we only have one open in each category? I want to improve my decks, though. Alright, Rake. First of all, remove a battle card. I want to throw away probably a feint, but it might be just like an elbow strike or some kind of very unimpressive attack. We have kind of a lot of not attack cards in our deck, though. We should probably be focused on removing things that are not attacks, and feints are definitely the worst non-attack cards we have. Okay, feel pretty solid about that. And then, do you have anything that would be fun for me? Improvise a finisher from your deck. That card that wants to be improvised is not marked as a finisher, right? No, it is not. Okay. Whenever you improvise while this card is in your hand, reduce its cost before the rest of the battle. That's a really interesting design. So you really want to be working it down a couple of times over the course of the fight. I dig this, like, improvise heavy mechanic that this linear that they clearly have running. We don't have the cards for it, but I would like to try that on a future run. Boulder Stance seems great, but it's kind of expensive and not what we're doing. Alright, I think we're not doing any of this stuff. And then, I know Endo hates me, and as such, this is going to be expensive, but let's fix up this deck a little bit as well. So what do we want to drop here? It's probably just a fast talk, right? Or a deflection? Probably a fast talk more than a deflection. Let's dump this one. This one's the furthest from leveling up. And then, do you have a card I would like? So once per turn, play this card for free from wherever it is when the specified requirements are met. So the card cannot be played. It does not have an action cost. But if we play 4 red cards in a single turn, this will pop out and do 2 damage. I like it a lot in theory, but unfortunately it's very difficult to set up with our current situation. I mean, our interior drill gives us a chance to play a 4th red card. I like the erupt strategy, but I'm wondering if maybe we're better off, like, picking up... Oh, never mind. We can't pick up recall. That's very expensive. It's a lot of... There's a lot of modifiers on the base price, which we could not afford anyway. I don't think we're going to buy the erupt. I do think that it's a... Like, in theory, it's good for our deck eventually. It's good for the thing we're trying to build into, but we're just not there yet. And as it is, it would just block up our hand when we draw it, and... It would be a very sad time. And what is Furlook? Furlook can sell us stuff, or we could buy, or it can sell us more pets, or we could buy some stuff. I don't know if, Ooh. An urchin that's cute. Let me see Zimbot. What is that? This is an urchin. A rapacious carnivore found throughout Groutbog. Native to Groutbog, these walking mouths reproduce faster than any other species in Havaria, and it's so cute! But don't worry about this one, I fixed it. It would be very expensive. Okay, even if we didn't... Oh, you can only have one pet. Well, never mind then. Never mind, I guess we'll just actually maintain some money here. Not enough to go buy metal, unfortunately. Pull up a seat. So, that stool's not too soggy. You can tell it's a lie, because she couldn't even get it out. So how'd it go? You and Nadan get all riled up by your hatred of the Admiralty? Well, mostly he just seems like an opportunist to me. Yeah? Well, then I'm glad you found each other. There's opportunities aplenty for a crook like him and an arm like yours. It's getting late. Anything you need before you turn in? What would happen if I ate a fish cake? It would give me a bloated card. Okay, it just heals current HP. I mean, it looks like we're about to rest in the back. I'm pretty sure there's a boss fight here. I don't remember exactly what happens, but I think there's a boss fight at the end of each day. So, healing up now would not necessarily be useless. What kind of cards do you have? A salve, a vial of slurry. What does hasten do? Okay, it just gives you an action. You know, honestly, the adrenaline shot does seem pretty good, and there's no, it doesn't block up your deck, because it has this replenish trait. So when you draw this, you draw another card. You will still get all the cards you would have had if you didn't have it in your deck. I think we will take this. I actually do like this one quite a bit. Is the Vial of Slurry... Vial of Slurry is maybe just better, actually. Like, looking at it, it gives me an action now. You know what? Give me both. I'll take that and this. I think those are pretty good cards. And do I want a heal? It's wild that that's the exact amount of money we have. It feels like Destiny. All this stuff has replenish. It's basically free. It's like free value. Alright, time to hit the sack. Say, someone came in looking for you earlier, and they didn't look friendly. Maybe sleep with one eye open tonight, huh? Asking after me. What did they want? Well, they said they wanted to hire you, but if you ask me, they looked like trouble. I sent them packing, said you were out on the road and wouldn't be back for days. Still, I think I've got my blades under the bar if we need them. You know, Fish, I got my own blades. I think I'll probably be okay. I wish I'd been here sooner yesterday. Would have liked to have seen you give Cascio a walloping. You mean get walloped by Cascio, more like. I ain't as young as I used to be, Sal. You've been gone a long time. And Cascio, well, she could have laid me out in our youth all the same. So, should I be worried? You were the one who taught me how to fight. What, you rewriting history? Cascio taught you too. You know her moves better than she knows yours. You got this. But remind me later to teach you a different way to throw a punch. I taught you when you were little, of course, but I'm feeling it now. Maybe that technique wasn't so good for longevity. I don't really expect to make it to your age anyway. Simultaneously, a really grim statement and also kind of a sick burn. Well done. Fish steps aside and you head down to your room for the night. But something's not right. In the dim light, some of the shadows look darker than usual. Who's there? A figure steps out of the shadows, heavily armed. If it thinks like an assassin and slinks like an assassin, and also it says that it's an assassin in the lower right corner of the screen. Okay, I can't do that voice effect. This would have been easier if you'd gone to sleep, Hunter. Not too late to shut your eyes if you prefer. So we're gonna murder this assassin. I could just jump him now, and we'll have advantage. Or we can try to demoralize him first. We will lose that first strike advantage, I think, but, you know, we'll have the opportunity to stack up a debuff for the fight. I think let's go for this. Do you even know who you're working for? Caring isn't part of the job description. Well, maybe you should reevaluate that. Cascio ain't like other clients. I gotta tell you, the way that I would approach this is probably not to make it like a moral argument. So, we have to give Hanbi an existential crisis to help in the coming battle. He's got multiple stacks of this impending doom trait. When we destroy them, Hanbi will get some existential crisis stacked on, or based on the amount of stacks of impending doom that we removed. So you can see there's one down here that is just 2 stacks and has 10 health. There's one here that is 3 stacks, but it has 12 health. And obviously, if we lose, we don't get to take any of the bonuses into the fight, so we do have to win this. Alright, we have to blow up at least 1 stack of impending doom in order to be able to win this thing. So targets an opposing argument each turn for 3/3 damage. This doesn't actually seem all that different from what you had before. And we have our Flourish available here. We can discard all of Hanbi's intents. I think for right now, we can probably just bear whatever this is, but let's keep that in mind for later. Let's play Bulldoze. Let's get that established. Let's get Bounty Hunter up. A thing to worry about for later, I mean, to be sure. Alright, we're just gonna prep ourselves a little bit here. Okay, that's the thing that hides intents, right? Oh, right. Also, this is double edge. I wasn't even really thinking about that, but yeah, good to prevent Hanbi from doing damage. Let's start with a totally free quick thinking. No. Let's start with an unstable. Okay, that's a little unfortunate. This is gonna level up quick thinking, which is nice. And we already have enough cards here to spend all of our actions, so drawing more cards doesn't feel all that great. What's still in my deck? Yeah, I don't really think I'm looking for any of this stuff. Let's just go ahead and take the damage. The unreliable damage, but, you know, damage. Actually, I guess it doesn't have to be unreliable. We ordinarily go in for the dominance, but influence is actually pretty solid here. So let's do some influencing on this to make this 4/4, so we can blow up Crafty. Alright, you're planning to do 4 damage to my bulldoze, which I think is probably not a big deal. We are actually going to end up with an extra action here. I forgot about bulldoze, because we're totally going to destroy this. Well, I should probably have drawn the card. I don't know, like, I think the benefit of the thing we did is still pretty significant. Yeah, I don't know. I don't know what the right move is. Maybe it wasn't that. So, I mean, obviously, we're going to go for all of the stacks here, right? There's no reason not to go for all of the stacks. And I think I'm fine holding off on the flourish still. Alright. Let's do early quick thinking. So, ergo is just going to give us the dud, right? Sorry, we play quick thinking first. And then we could ergo to get the quick thinking back, maybe. Are you doing much damage? You kind of are, actually. You know what? This might just be flourish time. I'm not going to worry about flustered, because we're just going to flourish. Observation is going to only do 3 damage, but it is still guaranteed max. I think that's the move. Let's go ahead and do this. Alright, that'll solve that. So the double edge only triggers when Hanbi tries to deal damage, though. We're not going to get any free double edge damage. And let's blow some stuff up. We don't really need to go after Wanted just yet. Let's hit this. This will redirect our pet's damage randomly. So, okay. That's not exactly where we would have preferred that attack to go, but it's fine. Do we want to play the observation, or would I rather play a fast talk and an ergo, even though... Well, I guess I'm playing the observation anyway. What am I talking about? We're getting the XP and also all the damage. I didn't actually want any of this stuff. I just wanted to play the card. Although I guess I should have gone and gotten the low blow. You know what? Honestly, even though the low blow would have been more damage, leveling up the fast talk is probably worth it. Because we might get the chance to remove it from our deck for free, right? Okay, you're gonna go 7 points of damage on my influence. And that's gonna be a lot of resolve. Or a lot of composure for you. And unfortunately, there's not really a ton I can do about that. Well, let's play Bounty Hunter again. It is free and everything. We can probably oppress it. Yeah, this is just, it's going to be a huge amount of composure, and we can't really stop that. Let's try to oppress. Alright, good news. And then threaten plus oppress. Get it? Yes, excellent news. Alright, and then I guess we just, we play the deflection, because it will lower the total amount of composure that Hanbi's going to gain here, but unfortunately it does not save the thing. Yeah, and I mean, you build up Flourish pretty quickly. Do we have it? Let's see, we definitely want to go for more influence here. Just drew a very green hand. Alright. Look at Bort coming to the rescue. So, we got a lot of upgrades there. Everything's leveling up all at once. Deflection of Clarity is very powerful, and also then it removes a deflection from our deck. Very happy to see it. Draw a card versus gain an influence. We're probably planning to remove most of the green cards from our deck, so keeping this in here as draw a card is fine. Okay, and there's still, yeah, still gaining that resource. Spend an influence to make this free, or... Alright, I guess this becomes a deflection that deals damage, except it's gain instead of apply. It's just kind of a crummy card. So, improvise a card from a pool of upgraded special cards. This basically is like upgrading all of the cards in the improvise pool. Or this gives us 5 cards to look at. I think I will take a lesser choice of better cards. We're definitely leaning this red. So it still has a gain to influence card on it, but it has a couple of red cards with different uses in it, which I think is obviously pretty good for us. And then Threaten. Visionary Threaten versus Threaten of Clarity. I think that's probably where we're at here. Alright, we're getting to a place where we have some card draw, and like I actually would like to see some things that give us additional actions. Gonna have to prioritize those pretty highly. Draw 2 cards and upgrade them for this negotiation. That's interesting. Or we could just take the Erupt and try to end up in this place. You know what? I'm gonna do it. Let's... This does seem cool, though. Nah, I'm gonna take the Erupt. We're gonna try to build into that. You just remember, she wouldn't want to have me killed if she didn't consider me a sizable threat. There you go. See, Sal started talking at the beginning of this engagement like we were trying to give this guy a crisis of conscience. Threatening him seems like a much better move. Ah, but no problem. You'll handle what Kashio couldn't, right? The assassin doesn't answer, but you can tell you left him off balance. Alright, so we gave up our surprise attack bonus. But in exchange, we get... okay, so we've been marked by the assassin. That's bad news. In exchange, we've given Hanbi this debuff. At the end of the turn, increases fighter's panic level by 10. So he's going to get more and more likely to just suddenly give up. I don't remember how hard this fight is. Attacks deal 3 extra damage while this is in your hand. Well, I have a plan. We have enough discard here that I think it probably is actually worth spending the Admiralty requisition. Okay, let's scatter, discarding you and you. And then we do a Bedlam, discarding the Stringer. And I think I throw some knives. Like, this is kind of a lot of damage done to our pet. I want to make sure that this doesn't end up costing us a Bort. Yeah, do it. I probably should have done it at the beginning of the turn, right? I don't actually know if that attack is affected by the power that we gained. Alright, then we get a pretty decent bleed off. Alright, good Screech. We don't have any discard right now. Maybe we can get some? Nope, no such luck. Well... Okay, Pet is doing the flurry thing. We definitely apply some wounds. Let's apply some defense and also heal you. God, that's a lot of damage. Yeah, because you have some temporary power from the whole kindling deal. You know, this does seem like maybe a good time for the adrenaline shot. This seems like the time when we want to go hard. Also, can you believe this asshole focusing on my pet? Alright, he's doing something else this turn. He's charging up his laser. So, Vital Strikes. Don't have quite as many attacks as I might like, but still a good idea. So, whenever you discard a card, gain an Adrenaline, which increases attack damage. I'm going to go ahead and play Shadow Mastery, even though it means we get a little bit less value out of the other card we played already. So do I Elbow Strike just for the XP, Or do we have to strain stab for the damage? Because obviously we don't care about the discard here. I guess I could just do both. We could just vial. Yeah, I'm gonna vial. I'm not using the oppressor cell yet. I don't think the situation's all that bad, honestly. Yeah, the existential crisis really put in a lot of work there. Taking this guy down at effectively 58 health remaining. And of course, you know how Sal rolls. Okay, that was kind of a lot of damage to Bort, and I was distressed to see it. Steal your money, we get to steal your equipment. Gain 2 power while this is in your hand. Unplayable, but also replenish. So yeah, it's just great. It's just an awesome card. Alright, a little bit of victory medal. Who doesn't love that? Improvise a random hostility card. It costs 1 less until played. Okay, so this plays really well with our Erupt, right? Because this is often going to have us paying 1 action to play 2 red cards. Very good news. And discard a card, double the damage on a random card in your hand. That seems cool. Absolute Domination is bananas for the combo deck. Discard your hand and draw 5 cards. That's also very cool. And also sometimes, you know, there's just like a particular thing you're looking for. This one has a lot of value even beyond our strategy. Just digging for the right answer for things. I think I like that a lot. Bosses give good rewards, you know? Hanbi lies dead at your feet. Fish charges into the room, moving spryly for a Kredeshi her age. That's the stranger I told you about. You alright, kid? Yeah, Kashio sent them. Typical Kashio, leaving others to clean up her mess. It takes you both a while to deal with the mess, but when you're done, it's cleaner than it was to start. There, complimentary house cleaning. Now you should sleep soundly, in theory. Fish stands guard by your door for the rest of the night, leaving you to catch up on your shut-eye. You know, Fish is a good friend. Alright, so, gain 1 action at the start of your turn, but battle card upgrades with multiple upgrades now have 1 option fewer. Okay, so when we level something up, we'll only be shown 1 option instead of 2. It's a significant cost, but 1 extra action all the time is pretty awesome. We are not taking the Calamity Jar. I love Bort very much. And reduce the cost of a random card in your hand by 1 until played. I mean, I think we're going to take the Quick Charger. I know it's a little bit more unreliable, but like the real goal is to be able to play all the cards in our hand most of the time, right? So I think in practice this is usually gonna do the thing we want. You spend time slapping together some makeshift security. If anyone comes through the windows now, you'll know about it. And your bed calls to you. That night your dreams are full of Kashio, gold-plated with iron teeth. I mean, that's pretty cool. I would like to have seen that art. Alright, so we only got hated by 1 person that day. That's a big upgrade, right? And we added a lot of stuff to our deck, but most of it's stuff that has replenish, so... yeah, I'm feeling pretty strong. Feeling pretty good about how we gained things that day. So I think this is probably a pretty good place to call it. It seems like we're making a lot of friends here. When you come back next time, tomorrow, we will continue practicing that particular brand of friendship. And we'll see you then.